Hi, I'm Mike Shea from SlyFlourish.com, and I am here with Enrique Bertran, the NewbieDM from NewbieDM.com and Twitter.com/NewbieDM. And this is our third session running through Dragon of Icespire Peak. This is a one-on-one D&D game using the D&D Essentials Kit. And Enrique, would you like to introduce yourself or say anything?
Hi, I'm Enrique, NewbieDM.com and NewbieDM on Twitter, and I am playing a character named Barundar. He's a dwarven fighter here in this adventure, and I'm really having fun with Mike here. I'm having fun playing this game with you, Mike.
So yeah, I've been talking all about it over the past few weeks. I've been talking about it with Michelle, my wife, and talking about it online and everything else. And I'm surprised how much fun I'm having playing D&D with you. No, I'm surprised how much fun I'm having playing D&D one-on-one. Like, I thought it would be weird, or I thought it would like the I don't know, that like you really needed the 5 people to make the D&D experience work, and I've been having a great time.
I think it works.
Yeah.
I'm still a little dubious about whether I'm still not convinced the adventures and encounters are written for one player.
Right.
But as far as the experience is concerned, the gaming experience on its own, it's fun. It doesn't feel weird at all, like you said.
Yeah. And I love Barundar, yeah. and I love Bing.
I want to apologize ahead of time. My voice is shot. I'm sick with a bad cold, and
nothing like an hour and a half of talking to help a problem like that.
Well, yeah, I know. This is gonna go great. That's why I have a very scorching cup of coffee here with me too.
Excellent. So when we last left, it's Barundar, right?
Barundar.
When we last left Barundar and Bing, they had just had a conversation with some nasty little were-rats in a cave. They were following a character. Where's the picture? This guy right here, whose name was, where are my notes?
Don John.
And yeah, Don John Raskin. And he had asked, he works for Neverwinter, and he said, hey, there's this mine, the Mountains Toe gold mine, that's stopped producing stuff. And I want you to go help me figure it out. So you and Don John and your sidekick Bing went to the Mountains Toe gold mine, found that there were a bunch of were-rats there, and the were-rats said, hey, we actually don't like this mine very much. We like this other place called the Shrine of Savras. If you can clear out the Shrine of Savras, we'll move back there and you can have your mine back. And you said, that's probably better than getting in a great big fight with a bunch of were-rats. So you have just left the Mountains Toe gold mine and are making your way back out from the Sword Mountains, heading along the path that heads to the Shrine of Savras. There is, you noticed after about a half a day's journey that there was a large storm that took place ahead of you on the road, and bolts of lightning that seemed to strike again and again, faster than you could keep up with them, just one right after the other. And both you and Bing and Don John, so you and Bing were kind of looking at this, and you looked over, and Don John was propped up against a tree, dead asleep, right? Just snoring like a dying cow, completely oblivious to this storm. But you and Bing kind of stared out over this strange swirling storm and this just blast after blast of lightning.
So I guess the first question I want to ask you is the storm rain or is there ice? Is it cold? Because I know what's happening with the dragon. Obviously, we've seen the white dragon. So I guess I'm asking, can this be the dragon?
So you look over and ask Bing, can this be the dragon? Give me an intelligence arcana check for Bing with advantage as Barundar asks the question. The two of you kind of ponder this situation.
Intelligence.
So yeah, Bing's intelligence arcana, if he's trained in arcana.
So I rolled on roll 20. We're going to use the left-hand side for the advantage.
So you should have.
I guess
both.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can use both, right?
Yeah. So 19.
19. So Bing kind of looks at this and he looks at you and goes, White dragons are known for cold and like sleet storms, and I don't actually see a dragon. I think this is something else. I don't think this is a dragon at all.
So I tell him, that's what I was thinking, Bing. Thank you for confirming my thoughts.
He nods. Yes, of course, sir, of course. Yeah.
I mean, other than that, does it look dangerous to proceed, or?
No, and as the night, this is sort of at night after you've set up camp, right, along your journey outside of Mountain's Toe Gold Mine. And the next morning, it is a beautiful sunny day. Birds are chirping, sky is blue. No sign. The storm itself, the other weird bit, and Bing kind of noticed this too and mentioned it to you, was that the storm didn't move. It was relatively local, right? It was in one spot, and it kind of rose there, and then all these bolts of lightning hit, and then it disappeared again.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah. So the next day, you begin your journey again, and after a couple of hours going along the road, and most of it is filled with Donjon's stories of Neverwinter and Mount Hotenau and the fiery god under, and the one time he met Drizzt Orden, and all these tales that he tells over and over again. And most of the time, Bing just kind of rolls his eyes at you, of the tales of this brash guy. You come across a tree, and the tree is scorched completely black. And all of the leaves are gone, and all around it the ground is charred. And so both you and Bing kind of look at the tree, and he points out, he goes, "Look over here." And on the tree is a strange symbol, like a glyph that has been burned into the tree.
Does the tree smell like it's recently burnt, or what?
Yes. Yeah, there's a heavy stench of ozone, of charred wood and ozone in the air.
Do I recognize the glyph at all?
You do not. And Bing looks at it, and he looks at you, and he just shakes his head.
What does the glyph kind of look like? Can you describe it?
It's got it's very sharp-edged, many different lines that piece it together, like 3 or 4 different capital letters overlapping one another.
Capital letters overlapping one another.
Yeah, so if you imagine like a 3/4 turned E,
Got
and
it.
a half circle. Really, it's strange. And Bing is like, he mentions, he's like, I've studied a number of different religions in the area, and I've not seen anything like this.
So Bing.
Sorry.
Is
yes,
it magical?
Sir. He looks at it and he goes, I don't think so, but maybe here, help me move some of the char away. Please, if you would roll an intelligence arcana check with advantage as the two of you kind of investigate this.
For Bing or for Barundar?
So this will be Bing's check with advantage for Barundar's aid.
Arcana. 20.
Yeah, so he says it is no longer it is no longer magical, but this tree looks like it's been hit by 10 or 12 lightning blasts. Like, this wasn't just one lightning blast. This is many lightning blasts that have been here. If you would give me, are either you or Bing trained in survival or nature?
Hold on. Barundar is not, and Bing, no.
So both of you are looking around, and if you would, whichever of you has the highest perception check, can roll a perception check with advantage, either you or Bing, as you're kind of looking around the area.
That would be Bing. 16.
So he looks around and he goes, "Look, there's boot prints around here," and you look, and there's these large, rough boot prints that are kind of encircling this tree, that you see all around the tree. And he kind of like looks. He goes, "There's something. Hang on. There's something in the tree." And he reaches. He kind of reaches. He looks at you a little apprehensively as he does. He looks. Maybe you should do this.
Stand aside, Bing. I saw those footprints earlier, and I meant to come investigate.
Right, he goes, look over here. Look at that.
I go in and I try to see what it is he's seeing.
You see that sort of inside the cracked, charred husk of this tree is a living root. And what appears to be etched on this root, it's probably about 8 inches long, and this gnarled piece of living tree. And etched into it is a lightning bolt.
Now, when you say living tree, what do you mean? Like, is the root like throbbing?
It's not. It just looks like it's not dead, right? It looks like the bark that is on it has a lighter brown texture of living wood, rather than the charred dead wood of the tree. It's not moving or wriggling or anything like that.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
As a guy who's traveled up and down the Sword Coast,
right?
Would I be familiar with glyphs and signs of organizations or other, or I guess organizations, really?
Yes, yeah. So you're familiar with, like, you've never seen one, but you've heard the rumors of the mysterious harpers and the weird harp pin that they have,
okay.
or the symbol of the Zintarim and other factions in the area.
Okay, so would this seem like the symbol of the Zintarim, for example?
It does not.
Okay.
Yeah. It is not one that you recognize. And,
Bing, I don't think I recognize this.
Is Bing trained in religion?
Is Bing trained in religion? I believe he is. Yes, he is.
So he kind of looks at it, as you kind of examine it. Have Bing roll an intelligence religion check with advantage.
Yes, sir. He rolled a 10.
So he looks at it and goes, I don't know. It looks like a religious symbol of some sort, but I don't recognize it.
Bing, you're a man of faith. What do you mean you can't recognize it?
It's not. There are many faiths here in these lands, and this is not one that I know. I have not seen it, but it clearly.
I turn around to Don John and say, "Crocodile Don John, do you recognize?"
You turn around and he is busy urinating on a tree.
Jesus.
And he's like, "What? What is it?"
Nothing.
Oh, sorry.
When you finish peeing, please make your way over to the tree.
Gotcha. Be right there. Getting old and all that.
This man has a problem with his prostate. Okay.
So he says, "I think it's safe to take it, though. I don't see any problems with it."
To take the root?
Yeah, you can. I think it can. You could break that out. I feel an energy coming off of it, but it doesn't look dangerous.
Okay. Yeah, stand aside, Bing.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, sorry.
I'm gonna grab the root. I'm gonna pull it off.
You pull the root right off, and you're holding it in your hand, and immediately, like, the hair on your arm stands on end, and you feel this electrical energy coming off of this root as you kind of hold it, and you realize that there is a power in this root that you can channel. This power will empower a weapon upon which it is cast. Like, if you transfer the energy from this root into a weapon, it will make that weapon magical and give it an extra 1d6 lightning damage for 1 hour.
Nice.
And then once it is used, it is expended.
So, like, in game terms, I would have to use an action to expend the...
Correct. Yeah, use an action to expend it. It's the equivalent of casting Magic Weapon, the spell Magic Weapon.
Got it.
It's the equivalent of casting the spell Magic Weapon on a weapon and gives it an additional 1d6 lightning damage. And then that root, the energy in that root is expended.
Bing.
Sir.
I'm glad I found this.
I'm glad you found that too. That could come quite handy and useful.
Now we should get going, Bing. Is the man done peeing?
He's like, right, and he's going, he's shaking, and kind of zipping up his buttoning up his trousers.
Zip your pants up, man.
I'm sorry. Yes, right. Are we ready yet? Wow, look at that tree. What's going on with that?
You missed a lot while you were peeing. Let's get
And
going.
he goes and he like stomps around in all the boot prints, right? As he turns around.
Now the boot prints. Wait, hold on. I'm not done. I tell him to stop.
Boot prints, and he's like turning around and kicking the dirt around.
Are the boot prints large or small?
They were large.
Large. What do you
make of that?
Were they heavy boots or were they leather moccasins?
They were heavy boots, and they were rough in their make. Like no good cobbler made these boots. These are heavy, thick stitches, holes in some of them. Bigger than your feet.
Orcs.
Perhaps. Bing kind of looks at it and goes, maybe? Roll an whichever you or Bing has the higher intelligence insight check can roll with advantage.
Barundar rolls an 11.
Barundar goes, it's possible, but I don't know. I can't be sure.
Do they trail off into the distance?
You see them kind of make their way into the woods, but as you kind of look, they sort of disappear into the foliage. It looks like they'll be difficult to follow.
Well, then we're not going to follow them.
And
we should get going.
Don John's like, yeah, don't we have other business? We have to get to the Shrine of Savras or whatever.
Well, you're the one who stopped to pee.
Well, I had to pee. What do you want?
Let's get going. Bing,
right.
Please, let's go.
You continue to make your journey across the Sword Coast. So you are making your way through those northern hills. If you see those hills north of the Sword Mountains.
Yes, I do.
Heading to the northeast through the hills. And it's probably it's about a 2-day journey to reach the shrine, I think. And you along this journey, late in the afternoon, you are kind of having your evening meal before you prepare your camp, and Bing says, "Oh, sir, look!" And he points out, he's kind of standing on one of the hills, and far off to the north, you see, you can just make out, again, that the image of something flying from the northeast to the southwest, perhaps 2 miles away or so, 3 miles away, is a large flying shape. And as the sun hits its scales, you see it gleaming white. He goes, "The dragon!"
It's that white dragon, Bing.
It is. It's moving like around a lot. We saw it along the mountains, but that looks like its Tribor Trail. Its range is getting wider.
Does it look like it's headed our way?
It is not. You are headed to the northeast. It is headed to the southwest, and it is a few miles north of you. So it's going along its current trajectory. And even as you watch, it sort of soars south and west away from you.
Okay, so theoretically, it could head towards Phandalin.
That is true. It could be heading towards Phandalin.
And how far away are we from? We're kind of far from Phandalin, right?
Yeah, so right now you're a good couple days away from Phandalin.
Bing, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do but watch.
Yeah, you're about 50 miles away from Phandalin at this point.
I tell Don John.
Don John is sitting there eating this ridiculous burrito that he has made. He's like, "What? What is it?"
It's a dragon.
What?
Mate.
Come on.
It's a dragon.
There's no dragons.
Take a look.
It's ridiculous.
Take a look.
He kind of goes out there. He goes, "I don't see anything at all. I see a great open plain. My eyesight's not what it used to be."
Go pee.
What am I, a dog? Well, now that you mention it. And he goes over to a nearby hill. You make it to the Shrine of Savras about mid-morning the next day. The shrine itself is an old ruin. Let me pull up. Here's an overhead map of the area. Inside is a cross-shaped 2-story building. And there are what appeared to be a thick wall that surrounded it. but the wall has long since fallen into ruin, as has the gatehouse to the north. There are 4 towers that are all in disarray, except for a tower on the northwestern side. The northwest tower itself continues to stand upright, but the other 3 towers all look like they have collapsed. As you are, there's about 100 feet of open land surrounding the hill that the tower sits upon, and trees and foliage that kind of sit outside of that, and a heavily overgrown road that twists its way up to the destroyed northern gatehouse. So currently in your foliage, you're pretty well covered, and it's a good distance.
Do I know what Savras is?
You do not. I don't know. I don't know what Savras is. I should look that up, huh? Give me a so either you or Bing can make an intelligence religion check. And if whichever one of you makes the roll can make it with advantage as the other one discusses it.
So Bing rolled a 23.
So Bing says, of course I know what Savras is. You don't know? I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, I'm sure you know this already. Let me tell you what Savras is. You can tell me where I'm wrong about it. It would help me to tap into your intellect.
Get on with it, Bing.
Oh, sorry. Savras is a god of divination and fate. In our realms. The symbol of Savras. Hang on, and he pulls out an old book, and he's like, I happen to have an image here of the symbol of Savras. It is a sphere with eyes kind of lurking in it, that kind of float in it, and it's somewhat sinister. Somewhat sinister, but it is considered a neutral god, neither good nor evil, but one who follows the ways of the law.
Put that picture away, Bing. It's uncomfortable to look at.
All right. Sorry. I'll here. Yes. Sorry, sir. Don't make you uncomfortable. Often known as the all-seeing, or he of the third eye, or the Lord of divination.
Bing.
Apparently once a wizard before he became a god. Yeah, sorry. Yes, sir. Seems lost in his own story.
Do we see any tracks around?
So you're looking around. If you would give me either you or Bing can make an intelligence nature check.
Straight up intelligence check. So Bing rolls a 9. Barundar rolls a 21.
21. So Bing is like, sir, look, I found tracks. And he's following them around, and he goes right up to, he's like, there's someone behind that tree. And you go behind the tree, and it's Don John peeing. He's like, sorry, I found the wrong tracks. And you're like, wait a minute. And you look, and there are these, like, outside of the tracks that Don John has made, he has stepped into much larger barefoot tracks that have made their way through. And as you kind of like follow them, you kind of look where they're going, and you see these like small trees that have been uprooted. And then this huge log that has a big barefoot mud print on it, and the log has cracked under the weight of whatever stepped on it.
All right, so hold on.
Yeah.
Bear track.
Not a bear track. Barefoot. Like a
One
humanoid.
foot?
A humanoid. No, you see multiple humanoid feet. Clearly from one being. Like you see both the left and right footprints.
So he's walking on 2 feet.
Yeah, a creature is walking on 2 feet. The feet are roughly humanoid. 4 toes instead of 5. And the feet are probably 20 inches, 20 to 24 inches long.
Holy moly.
And deep. Like it was so deep that when you look at them, you thought they were just mud trenches. Right, and then you realize what you were looking at was a footprint, and then as you kind of look at it as it made its way through the trees, you see that there are trees that are uprooted, and there is a whatever it was had stepped over a log, and when it did so, the log split and broke, and the log was like a good sized 20-inch tree.
I want I signaled Bing to be quiet.
Right.
The other guy to be quiet. Don John.
Like, what? What?
Quiet.
Oh, sorry.
And I want to hear. Can I hear anything?
Give me a wisdom perception check. Both you and Bing can roll separately if you would like.
Barundar rolls an 11, and Bing rolls a 13.
So you're both listening, and you don't hear anything, right? You hear the sounds of the forest, and Bing's like, I thought I heard a crack, but it was pretty far away. Whatever that is, I don't think it's nearby. Oh, sir, look. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, look.
What?
And he points out at the tree, and on the watchtower, the one northwestern watchtower that stands, you see a figure standing out at the edge, kind of looking out over the open plain that leads up to the open plain of the hill that leads up to the shrine.
What does this figure look like? Human? Or what?
It looks humanoid, and as you kind of peer from far away, whatever it is has sort of grayish skin and a large head. And as you watch, it kind of slings it seems to have a long bow as it kind of peers over. It's thick in its stature, thick in its physical size.
And there's only one?
You only see one of them on that watchtower.
Bing?
Sir.
One of the ideals I live by is that you have to succeed, you have to take risks.
Yes, right.
You
see him open up a book, and it says Barandar's Philosophies, and it's got 96 of them so far. And he takes out a pen, and he writes then the new one in.
If you want to succeed, you have to take risks.
If you want to succeed, you have to take risks.
Bing, I say we go to that watchtower. You climb up to the top there and tell me what's happening.
So he's still writing, right? And he's like, if you want to take what? Wait, what? And he kind of looks at you. He's got his little spectacles on and his round face, and he's looking at it. I'm sorry. I missed what you said. Did you say you were going to the watchtower?
Follow me, Bing.
We're going?
Yes, we're going.
Okay. Very good. So the two of you goes, are we going to be stealthy, or are we just going to walk on up?
Of course we're going to be stealthy.
Okay. And what about Don John? Should he come with us, or should
No.
Okay.
He is going to... Don John.
He's like, yeah, right, yes. Sorry, I fell asleep while we were being quiet.
Wait here by a tree.
All right.
Make sure it's a wide enough tree that if you have to pee, I don't have to see you pee.
Okay. That's going to have to be pretty wide. And he gives you a punch on the shoulder.
Oh, boy. And Bing and I will be back.
All right. Sounds good. Before you have even left the forest, you hear his snores echoing out from behind a large tree. If you would each give me a stealth check as the two of you make your way up the hill.
Barundar rolls a 16.
And Barundar, being you're wearing metal armor, I take it.
So it's with disadvantage, right?
Disadvantage.
I'm wearing chainmail.
Chainmail, yeah. So you will be at disadvantage. Do you happen to know what Bing is wearing? And both of you are level 3, is that right?
Yes. So Barundar rolled a 16 and a 19. So the 16 would be the one with disadvantage?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And how did Bing do?
Bing hasn't rolled yet.
Okay. And I think Bing is just wearing...
Bing is wearing leather.
Leather. So, yeah, so he can just make a straight stealth.
Bing rolled a 3.
Okay. Excellent. Perfect.
Excellent.
So the two of you are... making your way up, and Barundar, in somewhat uncharacteristically, is going up the hillside, and at one point the creature, which now as you get closer is clearly an orc, kind of looks out over your way and looks away. You can see that's clearly an orc, and you kind of hide behind a rock, and Bing is kind of has his head down, and then the two of you are continuing to make your way up this hill, and you look over and you see you see that the orc is coming back to look your way, and you quickly find another kind of freestanding stone sticking its way out of the rock, sticking his way out of the hillside, and you slam up against that, kind of hiding behind it as the orcs gaze, and you turn over and you see Bing, and he's standing right in the open, like looking over at you, and he looks up, and the orc kind of looks his way, and Bing just puts his hands over his eyes. Like
I grab Bing and I bring him behind a rock.
You grab him and you pull, and you hear a voice that echoes out, goes, "Who's out there?"
Oh boy.
"Grob, is that you?"
Yes.
Give me a charisma deception.
Deception.
Give me a charisma deception check, please.
Bing.
Yes,
I'm many
sir.
things. Charismatic isn't one of them.
Oh, sir, I wouldn't say that. You're a very good-looking man.
I roll a 7.
So he's like, "Grob, that doesn't sound like you. Who's out there? You come out."
The cold got to my chest. I feel bad.
And he fires an arrow. You hear an arrow clink off of the side of rock as an arrow comes arcing your way. Come on out from there and show yourself.
Bing.
He looks at you. He's like, "Sir?"
Get ready to do that thing you do with your hands that you fire that thing you fire.
Okay. Oh, yes, right. And he goes and he pulls out his various components and prepares himself.
I stand up.
He goes, and you see the orc's eyes go wide. He's like, "A dwarf!" And he pulls out a bow and draws it. Let us roll for initiative. At this point, you are perhaps 30 feet away from the bottom of the tower.
Perfect.
I should have. Let's see. I guess I will use.
Initiative is a straight dex.
I
roll a 16.
Okay, give me a moment. And what did Bing roll?
Bing rolls a...
I have another.
21.
Oh, excellent. What does Bing do? You are, what did I say you were? About 30 feet away from the bottom
30,
of the...
30 feet, yeah.
Excellent.
Hold on, let me read one of my spells here.
Sure.
How tall is the tower?
The tower is 25 feet of rough cracked stone to get to the top. And there are battlements at the top. Cracked battlements. So
Sacred Flame has a range of 60 feet.
Yes, you can easily target the orc with a Sacred Flame.
So I need the orc to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. The orc rolls an 18 on the dexterity saving throw. As he sees the fingers wiggling, he goes, "Whoo!" And he dives back behind the ramparts, and you see a flash of radiant light. And Bing turns to you and is like, "I got him!" And then the orc stands up and aims his bow once again. It is Barundar's turn.
No, hold on. Bing is going to try to move behind a rock.
Okay. So both of you there's like a large piece of rock that you are both behind. It gives you it gives you, the 3/4 cover.
Okay.
And both of you are able to take 3/4 cover behind that.
Barundar will... I'm going to double move it.
All right. So you can run up to the base of the Watchtower, and then if you want to, begin to climb it.
It puts me about...
What's that?
It puts me at 50 feet, so 20 feet up the tower.
Yeah, you'll be right. So give me a strength athletics check as you quickly go running out. The orc is kind of like trying to aim his bow at you as you come up.
So I have a +4 in that strength check. That's going to be a 10.
All right, so you're making your way up, and you get probably about 15 feet up, and you grab a broken piece of rock, and you're like, "Ah!" And you slide down about 10 feet, but sort of manage to get your hands back into the rock again. So you didn't make it all the way up, but you got about 10 feet off of the ground.
Okay.
As he makes your way. So Bing has hidden behind the large rock and has has a 3/4. They call it, I forget in 5th. Is it 3/4 cover?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the greater cover, the -5. And he's trying to aim at Bing, and he can't see him at all. And then he kind of like leans over and kind of hooks one foot around one of the broken pieces of the battlement and aims his bow down at you. It is an awkward shot. So he has so you have +2 to your armor class for the cover of hugging against the rock itself as he fires a bow. The good news is he doesn't appear to be particularly able with the bow.
Did you say I had 3/4 cover?
You have partial cover, right?
Oh.
So he's like leaning way over to try to get a shot. It's just awkward. So you have a bonus of 2 to your AC from hugging up against the wall.
So I have an AC of 14.
Yeah, unfortunately, he rolls a 21 on his bow shot.
Oh!
And hits you for 5 points of damage as an
Poor
arrow
Bing.
pierces through. No, that's Barundar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Barundar.
Yeah.
No, hold
Right,
on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I thought you were shooting at Bing.
Sorry, yeah. So he was aiming. He started to aim at Bing, but saw that like Bing is hiding behind that big rock.
No, but hold on. Barundar's armor class is not 14. Barundar's armor class with a +2 is an 18.
Yes, and he's still rolled a 21.
Oh, okay.
He's hitting either, yeah.
Oh!
So the arrow pierces through your chain armor on your shoulder and sticks out of your shoulder. He's like, "Ha! I gotcha!" And it is back to Bing's turn.
He's gonna Sacred Flame once again.
All right, he kind of crawls out and he throws a Sacred Flame. And let's see. The orc, however, is completely off balance as he is hanging on top of the battlements. And the Sacred Flame roars around him and he screams like, "Ah!" as radiant energy hits him. Please roll for damage.
That's a 1d8. 6 points of damage.
Oh, right. He screams out as radiant energy roars around him. Can I have a perception check from Barundar?
Yes. 4.
Excellent. You can't hear what's going on over the great roar of your own battle charge as you are continuing to climb. It is Barundar's turn.
Barundar is going to pluck that arrow off of his armor.
All right. And tosses it aside.
Can I get on the orc's face?
Yes. I will need another strength athletics check as you continue to climb up the broken...
That is a 9.
Oh, no. So you get up to the top, and he goes, "Oh!" And he starts kicking at the rock, and the rock is crumbling away, and he hits a piece, and you fall back down to the ground at the base of the at the base. I need you to let's see. As you strike the ground, you take 1 point of damage. Luckily, you fall into a soft pool of mud. But a rock kind of clips your head for 1 point of damage. You can take an action and try to make it back up there, or if you want to do a ranged attack from there.
No, my action is going to be to grab that root.
All right, you grab the root in your hand. You feel its energy surging.
Yeah, and I whisper under my breath some foul language about the orc and what's coming to him.
Uh-oh. Do you speak Orcish?
Yes, I do.
Oh, right. Excellent. You speak in foul, and his eyes kind of go wide as he sees it, and you don't see it yourself, but your eyes gleam with a yellow light energy. So do you invoke the root?
Oh, yes.
All right, you invoke the root. Your axe blazes with lightning as the rune that is on the living root flashes and surges and then goes dead. And you see that root of that living root dies, like it turns into this crackled piece of dead wood. But your axe is blazing with lightning energy, and the orc sees that and it goes, "Ah!" And in Orcish he goes, "A priest of Talos!" And he looks quite shaken. He looks like he might try to flee. It is his turn. He's gonna, let's see. He decides to stick around. He goes, You're not supposed to be out here. And he takes his bow and fires another shot. A dwarven priest of Talos. That's weird. He fires and has a 17. But you are prone, right? And so while lying on the ground, he's trying to get a shot. But instead, the arrow sinks into the mud nearby. You then see him kind of back away from the edge of the tower and heads to the edge, and he yells out, "A priest of Talos is here! A dwarven priest!" It is Bing's turn. Bing can still see the orc who is on the other side of the tower yelling into the inner courtyard.
The inner courtyard?
Yeah, so the inside the broken walls of the shrine.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
It means there's more of these guys. Bing will... What does Bing do? I haven't seen Barundar yet, right?
What do you mean?
Well, Bing saw Barundar go into the tower, but not...
Oh, no, sorry. So Barundar went to the edge of the tower. So Bing can still see Barundar. Right? Barundar ran past the big rock and up to the edge of the watchtower and was climbing up the broken rock of the watchtower to get to the top of it. And Bing can... That's all in line of sight of Bing.
I saw Barundar get hit.
Yes. Bing saw Barundar get hit.
Cure wounds is a touch.
It is.
Bing
can probably move up enough to be able to lay hands.
No, Bing is going to try to do another Sacred Flame on the...
All right. The orc, so his back turned and yelling over the side, does not see the radiant energy expand and surround him. He is hit once again by the...
Ooh, max damage. 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. He cries out, "Ah!" as he is surrounded by it. 6 and 8 is 14. Describe your killing blow on the orc.
The Sacred Flame wraps itself around the orc almost like a DNA strand and squeezes him as it burns him.
As it squeezes him, and he kind of burns and chars. And from inside, you hear, "Oh, the priests of Talos are here!" And you hear at least a couple of voices running around, and then a great deep voice who goes, "What are you talking about? Priests, I don't know what that even means."
Barundar's turn.
It is Barundar's turn.
Barundar is going to follow those voices.
Excellent.
I am emboldened by the power of the root.
So you stand up at the base of the tower and you run around to the south where the wall has broken through. And as you travel around, you see halfway between the watchtower in that middle courtyard. I have the map up on the screen, right?
I don't see it.
Oh, hang on. Let me... Do you see a big gray box? Is that what you're seeing right now?
Now I see the shrine.
Ah, okay. So in that upper left courtyard inside the shrine, just about in dead center, is another orc. This one has an axe on his back and is carrying a javelin in his hand. Another orc appears to be coming out from the doors of the shrine itself. And then in the far northeastern courtyard is a very large ogre. That has a heavy club slung over one shoulder and is dragging the half-eaten carcass of a large mule behind him. The orc that is in the northeastern or northwestern courtyard is about 25 feet away from you. You could get up to him with an action, or you can take a ranged attack from where you're at.
No, I'm gonna get up to him and.
All right.
Slam him.
So the standing up and going around the tower and then charging him will take both your move and your action.
Oh, great.
Because he's far
enough between fine.
Lying in the mud and everything. You run up and give me, if you would, a charisma intimidation check. as you go roaring with your eyes blazing with energy. You can make it with advantage.
21.
So as you go running, he goes, ah, ah, ah! And he drops the javelin from his hand and begins to turn around like he is going to flee. And on his turn, he does so. You may make an attack of opportunity against him.
This is with my two-handed axe.
Yes.
With lightning damage added onto it.
Correct.
I scream a dwarven roar as I swing. I rolled a 20. Not a natural 20, but a 20.
Dirty 20. It hits. You slash him viciously in the back. Please roll for damage.
That does 9 slashing.
Right.
And then I'm going to roll an extra d6, you said, lightning?
Yes.
So 4 lightning.
So you slash across his back. He cries out, and he makes it about 6 steps and then falls down to one knee and then scrambles up as he continues to make his way back to the door. So you did a total of 13 points?
Yeah.
He is badly wounded, yet still up and about. The other orc is like, "What are you talking about? That's a dwarf!" And he takes a javelin out and hurls a javelin at you. He is within range.
Are my eyes still yellow, or is that just...
Yeah, there's lightning crackling from your eyes as long as you have this charged up axe. He kind of like aims the javelin and says, "Whoa, what's up with... Maybe, and he kind of gets shaken, and as he hurls the javelin, it goes over your head and slams into the mud nearby. The ogre, you see, it kind of like lumbers forward, like, what is all this noise going on here? And dwarves. And he makes his way up to the door of the shrine as he is headed your way. It is Bing's turn. Bing has seen Barundar run around the edge of the tower. From his current vantage point, he cannot see the orcs, but he has certainly heard the commotion.
Bing is going to run over there, double move it over there if he has to.
So in a single move, he can get up to the edge of that, to the edge of the broken rock. And at that point, he can see both orcs and the ogre, and they're all within range of his...
Sacred Flame the ogre.
Oh, right. It's going to Sacred Flame the ogre. Ogre's like, whoa. He's still dragging this big half-devoured mule on his back. When the flame... what is his DC? So the DC is 12.
12, okay.
And the ogre, like, whoa! And he holds up, he blocks, he kind of drags that giant half-devoured mule up. And the radiant energy rolls around the mule. And he's like, oh! And he takes this burning, radiant and charged dead mule and hurls it against the wall, where it kind of cracks and splatters against the wall, but does not hit the ogre himself. It is Barundar's turn. You feel this primal rage burning through you, this energy, and you just feel yourself fueled by the storm.
So there's an orc running away from me, and there's an ogre behind me.
Yes, and there are 2 orcs that are now... Yeah, there are 2 orcs in front of you, and then ogre... They're all right around the front door of the temple itself. They've all... Like, the ogre... The one guy stayed there and hurled a javelin at you. The ogre made its way up to there, and then the other one was running to that general area. So they're all about 20 feet away from you at this point.
All right, so the orc that ran away from me that I hit with the...
Yes. Yeah, and he's badly hurt.
Yeah, I'm just going to go and try to take him out.
All right, so you go up to him, and he goes, ah, 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 and he kind of cowers down to the ground. Give me an intelligence... give me a charisma intimidation check with advantage. See if you can scare him prone.
11.
So he doesn't quite go prone. He kind of goes down to one knee. He's like, ah! And he draws his axe off of his back just in pure defensive, as a pure defensive measure. Roll a normal attack roll against him.
Whew. Critical hit.
Oh, no! Describe your killing blow. Go ahead and roll the damage. Actually, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It rolled a 12... So I did maximum It did 21 points of damage, slashing.
Yeah, so describe your killing blow on the cowering orc.
So the cowering orc, I swing my axe around, crackling with lightning energy.
Right.
And it's a smooth cut of the head.
Oh, his head
decapitate the orc.
His head goes flying off, and as you're swinging your axe around in this circle, it forms like a small storm, and a bolt of electricity, a bolt of lightning, arcs from the storm and hits the other orc. Please roll 2d6 damage.
Woo! 7.
As this blast of lightning strikes against him, and you hear a voice from behind you from Bing. It goes, "Will you look at that?"
That's how it's done, Bing.
He kind of nods his head, quickly in almost spasmodically nods his head at you.
You have much to learn.
The orc is like, "Ah!" And he doesn't appear to be quite as intimidated as his other friend, and he kind of draws his axe and roars at you. His hair is standing out in a perfect like halo around his head from the blast of electricity that hit him. And he roars and comes up and attacks you with his great axe.
Come on, you beast. Come and get it.
He swings. He appears to be quite a veteran as he slashes overhead, and then at the last minute hits you in the solar plexus with the pommel of the axe, and then swings low and hits with the axe blade in your thigh. You take 9. He rolled a 24 versus AC. He slashes you for 9 points of damage. And he's like, "Ha ha ha! We don't need your stupid Talos god here, Storm Dwarf." The ogre's like, what is all this craziness going on here? And he looks over and he sees Bing, and he picks up a large rock. He pulls away like a piece of heavy rock from the side of the broken shrine, and he hurls it at Bing. That is a 22 versus AC on Bing.
Yeah.
So Bing kind of like freezes as this heavy piece of rock goes arcing his way, and it strikes him solidly in the chest for 11 points of damage.
Oh no.
Ha ha ha! Crazy radiant thing killed my mule, blew up my mule. It is Bing's turn.
I'll show you a mule after I heal myself. And Bing's going to cure wounds on himself.
Excellent.
He took a nasty hit.
Yes.
Cure wounds. How does it?
So for him, it will be a D8 plus 2.
D8 plus 2, right?
He can cast it as a second level. Does he have second level spells? He doesn't have second level spells yet, right? We determined that.
No.
Yeah. So D8 plus 2.
4 plus 2, 6. So
all
6
right.
points.
He heals up some of this. He feels a rib snap back into place after getting dislocated by the ogre's heavy rock. It is okay. So he healed himself. Does he can, if he would like, it's up to you, dive behind the wall. Like he was standing at the edge of the broken wall of the shrine. He can, if he would like, get back behind that if you're worried about him getting hit again by the ogre.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
Okay. So he'll step around, and about 10 feet back, he has complete cover. He has total cover. The ogre cannot see him. It is Barundar's turn. You are filled with the lightning energy of Talos.
So
the stout orc that hit you with the axe got blasted with lightning. Appears to be about, he got hit hard, but he is still up.
Yeah, so that orc, I look at him and I say, I don't know who this Talos is, but I kind of like it. And I swing my axe and I try to take a swing at him. Let's see. We rolled a 23.
Oh!
So he's going to take 8 slashing.
All right.
And lightning damage to the tune of 4, so 12 points of damage.
So the describe your killing blow on the stout orc. He's the one that hit you in the solar plexus and slashed your leg.
So I cut him across, I slash him across the chest, and then the lightning burns his perfect hair.
And you just see it crackle out, and all the hair turns into ash and floats away from his bald head as he falls over.
I say compliments of Talos.
It's like, I thought you said you didn't know who he was. And then he dies. A bolt of energy arcs off of this storm cloud that's around your head and hits the ogre in the ass for 4 points of damage. Like, oh! Whoa! And he kind of turns around. What are you doing now?
I'm going to kill you.
The ogre comes around and pulls out his heavy, this spiked club that he's wielding. He goes, I'm going to smash you into the ground. And he rolls, he rolls a 9. Thank God. He swings this club down, and it just buries itself in the ground as you step away to one side.
And I say, you're going to try to.
He's like, oh, that's right, I'm going to try again. And he's trying to heavily pull that axe out from the ground. It is Bing's turn.
Bing's going to try to Sacred Flame.
Oh, right. He comes back around from hiding behind the wall and hurls a Sacred Flame at the ogre. The ogre fails his saving throw. Radiant energy rips across the ogre's body.
5 points of radiant damage.
Oh! He screams, he kind of roars out as this radiant energy flows around him. And then he turns back around again and sees Bing. Does Bing go and dive behind the wall again?
No, he does not. In fact, he takes a step forward.
Takes a step forward. He's, I'm going to put you into the ground, little thing. And it is Barundar's turn.
Barundar looks at Bing and says, I think we're done here, Bing. And I grab my axe, and I aim for the ogre's knees.
Oh.
And I try to take him out.
Excellent. Roll an attack roll.
19.
Oh, a vicious hit. Go ahead and roll for damage, including your lightning damage.
6 slashing and 1 lightning.
All right. You slash him across the leg. He kind of falls down to one knee. He's like, ow! Why? And when you say, like, you think you're done here, Bing kind of points and goes, I don't think we're done yet.
Quiet, you.
And the ogre kind of stands up, and he's like, oh, and he can't decide which of you he likes least. So he stays on you. He raises that huge club again, and he drops the club down. That is a 15.
That's a miss.
He swings. Whoa! This time you feel one of the spines of the club just scrapes down your armor, and you realize, like, one good hit from this thing is going to be tremendously bad. As it the club once again slams nearby and sinks itself into the ground. It is Bing's turn.
Well, Bing is going to finish this off with a Sacred Flame.
He fails the save.
But he wants to downplay this because he knows that Barundar wanted to take the winning shot.
Right.
He rolls a 2 damage.
A 2. His radiant energy flows over it. Oh! It kind of envelops one arm of the ogre. But the ogre just kind of roars back. And as Barundar kind of looks at him, you're like, you hit this guy pretty hard. He's still got a ways to go. He's a great big monster.
So Bing is going to take another step forward, just one step.
All right.
And is it Barundar's turn?
It is Barundar's turn.
Now Barundar's going to go for the other leg.
All right.
Watch how it's done, Bing.
It's like, yes, sir.
And he rolls a 19. Jesus, I'm rolling great.
I'm awesome. Roll for damage.
You got to go into Roll20 and see these rolls.
I believe you. Now, that was a 19 with your modifier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you're a champion fighter, is that right? You crit on 19s and 20s.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, just Crits are great when you have an axe that does an extra d6 damage.
Thanks for reminding me.
Sure.
So I did 10 slashing.
All right.
And I'm going to do another, was double dice, right?
Oh, it was the 19, was that a natural 19 that you rolled? Or is it 19 total, including your modifier?
That was including my modifier.
Yeah, so that one's not a crit.
Oh, you're right. So 10 slashing.
Yes.
And then my lightning is 6.
Oh,
16.
Nice. That's 30. The ogre gets you slash his leg, and he kind of stumbles down to one leg. He's heavily off balance and in a bad way, kind of as he crumbles to the ground, clutching at the vicious wound, and that's still electricity still arcing across his leg as he is slashed. And he's like, ugh! And he swings the club left to right at you, trying to bat you away. He rolls a disadvantage and rolls a 10. As he swings, you easily sidestep the blow, and he smashes into the wall of the shrine, and the wall cracks heavily, and a bunch of heavy stones fall from the rock above, landing harmlessly into the ground. It is Bing's turn. The ogre's mannerism has gone from being one of, oafish viciousness to fear. Like now his eyes are kind of wide, and the defensive bat hand was more like, get the hell away from me, more so than I'm going to smash you in the ground like a tent peg.
So Bing takes a step forward towards the ogre and says, "This ends now." And Sacred Flames the ogre.
Sinister. He rolls a 1. Go ahead and roll Sacred Flame damage.
8.
Oh! The Sacred Flame burns over. He goes, ah! Ah! And he kind of falls back. He drops the club to one side. Stop! Stop! Don't hurt me anymore! He says. And Barundar, you are standing above him. You have advantage on your attack if you wish to take it.
How many more are you in here?
It's like, there's just me, just Grack. Yeah?
Pick up your mule and go.
There's never more than just me. He kind of looks at you apprehensively. He kind of scoots back with his one good leg, and he kind of reaches around, and he picks up the broken, charred half mule and drags it away. He's like waiting for you to attack, and then he turns and he lumbers to the east, outside of the shrine. Do you let him go unimpeded?
I let him go.
All right. He begins to run outside of the shrine, and he crawls his way through a large crack in the wall to the east and makes his way out of the shrine. Will you look at that? Don John's like, was that a giant?
It was an ogre, man.
Oh, an ogre. Oh. Well, I'm glad I got here in the nick of time. Is there anything I can do?
Oh, you've done plenty, Don John.
All right. Well, glad to hear it.
Not sure what we'd do without you here.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't, yeah. I'm sure you guys could make off well on your own, though. I'm sure you do okay. Don't put yourself down like that. You guys are very effective.
Did you see anything in the forest while you were loafing around back there?
His eyes kind of go wide and his move back and forth. He's like, no. Forest things, birds and squirrels and stuff.
So nothing related to that big bear footprint we saw?
No, nothing like that.
Bing?
Because wait, I see it. And he points down, and you see one of the footprints of the large ogre in the ground nearby. He goes, there it is.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers that.
He goes, well, I'm glad I'm here to help you.
Bing?
I found it. I found the bear.
Bing, I'm in need of healing.
Bing kind of comes over. Oh, yes, sir. And you see him. He's drawing like a picture of the ogre in his notebook.
Bing, you can doodle later. I'm in need of healing.
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. And he comes over and heals you.
Feels better, Bing. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
And that's a D6, right?
D8 plus his plus his wisdom bonus.
Yeah, so that's 3 plus 3 + 2, 5. Much better, Bing. Thank you.
Whatever I can do. I live to serve.
Bing, you did well out here today.
Well, thank you, sir. You did very well yourself. That
I know I did.
Yes. Your eyes are still, arcing a little bit. You okay?
Perfectly fine, Bing.
Let's see. It's like, yeah. He goes, hang on a sec. And he polishes he takes out like a pan, like a silver pan, and he polishes it and he shines it and holds it up to you. And you see like your normal dwarven face, but your eyes are bright, like white yellow, and arcs of electricity are connecting the two and then arcing off into your hair.
How do you explain this, Bing?
Because it must be the magical energy from that root. You feel okay though? No weird whispers in your mind or anything like that?
Nothing out of the ordinary, Bing.
No more whispers than normal, then, I take.
Exactly.
I understand, sir.
Bing, let's take a look around and see what's going on inside this.
Very good, sir. And he holds out his hand, beckoning you to head in.
Don John?
Oh, yes.
Stay out here and watch for more orcs.
Got it. And what should I do if I see any?
You hide and scream.
Got it.
Oh, no, you scream and then hide.
Scream and then hide. Oh, good. Like this. Ah!
Yeah, and just
Okay.
run up against a rock and hide or something.
Gotcha. Will do. I'll just be right here. And he kind of sits down against the rock. He kind of goes over where the mule had hit the wall. He's like, ugh. And he
just stay out of the way, Don John.
Gotcha. Right. Opening the door leads into a main hall. You see crumbling pillars that are supporting a 40-foot high vaulted ceiling in the hall. There are humanoid bones littering the floor, and a 10-foot square hole in the ceiling that leads up to a belfry. There doesn't appear, as you kind of both peer up into it, you see that there is a bell far up above in the belfry, but it is not. There is no rope attached to it. There are also doors that lead to the south, a pair of large double doors that lead to the south, and then a pair of smaller doors that lead to the west and east.
Let's keep walking through the big double doors.
Excellent. You walk through the next set of double doors and see the following. 6 stone pillars brace the vaulted ceiling of this temple, the floor of which is buried under a thick layer of dust. Also covered in dust are 4 humanoid skeletons in tattered priestly vestments, lying near a stone altar situated in an alcove under 4 narrow windows. Carved into the front of the altar is a humanoid eye.
Bing?
Sir?
Does that eye look familiar to you?
It looks like it is one of the symbols of Savras. This would appear to be an altar of Savras. There's something not quite right. Look at the way it doesn't sit quite right on the floor, and I think I see a large crack underneath.
I saw it, Bing.
I'm sorry.
Let me go take a look.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood what you had seen.
Bing, I know what I'm looking at.
Understood, sir.
I go look at the crack on the altar.
So you go and you examine it. Sure enough, it looks like the altar had been slightly is pushed slightly askew. It's not sitting perfectly on the floor, and it appears that there is a hollow underneath the altar.
Can I stick my hand in there, or do I need to move the altar?
It looks like you're gonna have to move the altar. There's just the crack
Bing,
is
come and give me a hand here. Let's move this thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please. After you.
We start pushing. I start pushing it.
You put your hands on the altar, and your eyes go from that yellow white to pure white, like beams of white energy sort of flow off, and Bing kind of goes, ah! You yourself, however, feel yourself floating out of the shrine. Like your vision kind of rotates and shifts. You realize you would be pretty nauseous if you still had a stomach. But instead what you see is you float upwards, and you see yourself standing there go rigid and fall over backwards. Your eyes pitch white as white energy flows from them.
So I'm leaving my body?
You're leaving your body.
Oh.
You float through the roof of the shrine, through the bell, past the bell, and you soar all the way across the land.
What?
Yeah, you're high in the sky, clouds, a big bird flies by, seeming not to see you at all. And you, where is my map?
Can I control myself, or am I?
No, something seems to be pulling you, as you are floating through, and you see, again, like more of those storm clouds in a forest nearby. You see another one of those isolated swirling storms and bolts of white and violet lightning, and they're surrounded by a bunch of orcs in robes, hands outstretched, that are calling to this storm as bolts of lightning hit the ground. But then you pull away from that, and you head far to the southeast along the edges of the Icespire Mountains. So northeast of Phandalin, right at the edge of the mountains. And you see a stone fortress that is perched on an icy spur of the mountain. It's hanging right over the edge. It looks quite old and heavily broken. It has, it's much bigger. The hold itself is much bigger than it's much bigger than the shrine that you're in now. The roof of the thing has collapsed, and you can see into the inner courtyard, and lying in there, snoring peacefully, is a large white dragon.
A dragon I've seen before.
Yes, but never this close.
Right.
And now you have.
Can I gauge more or less how old he is? What size?
Give me an intelligence, either nature or arcana check.
19.
You think it is probably a young dragon. It doesn't, like in the stories you've heard of the ancient worms, that have lived for thousands of years. This one does not. It is big. Like, this is certainly a scary dragon. But its wingspan is perhaps 30 or 40 feet instead of 100 feet. Its body length is probably 20 or 30 feet long. So
Okay.
you get the impression it is a young white dragon. Still, however, you look at it and you're like, you're not sure Bing could survive an encounter with such a thing like this.
Right.
The dragon's one of its eyes opens, blazing with this blue light, and the eye kind of looks around, and it looks in your general area, and it snorts, and this ice cold air comes out of its nostrils as it snorts, as though it can tell it is being watched. At that point, you are pulled once again, and kind of soaring across the lands of the Sword Mountains, where you are brought back into the Shrine of Savras, and then you see yourself lying there, and Bing is kneeling next to you, his hands glowing, and you see Donjon is standing there, his hands on his hips. And as you re-enter your body, Donjon says, "Well, I'm pretty sure he's dead. I think that. Oh, look!" And your eyes open up, and you recover. The lightning, however, has left your axe and your eyes, as has the radiant energy that was flowing out from your encounter with the altar. And Bing goes, "Oh, sir! Oh, you had me so worried. I didn't know what happened. What happened? Are you okay?"
Bing, how long was I gone?
"About an hour, sir."
About an hour. Bing, I've seen the dragon.
"You have?"
I have.
Donjon's like, "Oh, come on with the dragons again."
You have no idea what you're talking about, Donjon. Why didn't you go pee?
"Now that you mention it." And he goes off.
Bing?
"Sir."
Something strange is happening in the land.
"Indeed."
And I think it's up to us to figure it out.
I think you're right. In the meantime, I think we looked around and there's no more orcs in here, and that ogre left. So I think we have successfully cleared out this shrine.
Thank you for stating the obvious, Bing. I was going to say that now.
Yes, sorry, sir. Of course.
Bing, I think we should head back and let these were-rats know that we've cleared this thing out for them, and hopefully that ogre comes back and takes care of them too, for all I care.
That sounds good, sir.
That was my plan all along, Bing.
A brilliant plan, sir, if I might say so.
Of course it is.
Excellent. Yes, sorry. Of course, I know that goes without saying.
Bing, that dragon. That dragon, he knew I was watching him, Bing.
He did.
He did.
Perhaps he's marked you, sir.
Perhaps.
Perhaps it is your destiny. Do you believe
That'll
in
be
destiny?
A tale for another day, Bing.
Indeed. You make your way back during the journey. Don John continuing his tales and continuing with his prostate issues.
No, wait, hold on.
Yes.
Can we stop and rest?
Oh, yes, and yes, you rest that night in the temple.
Yes.
Bing tells you that it looks like whatever energy was on that altar has dissipated. And the two of you that night move it aside. And inside you find a strange key, a magical key of some sort.
Bing?
Yes, sir.
It's a key.
Yes, sir. Brilliant observation, sir.
Who knows what it could open? I think we should carry it with us.
That sounds like a good idea. Would you like to carry it or shall I?
I think you should carry it, Bing.
Very good. I will put it on this tether around my neck.
You're in charge of the keys now, Bing.
I am the key master. Yes.
You are the key master.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
I shall call you the locksmith.
That would be wonderful, sir. I like that name.
Good night, Bing.
Good night, sir. You rest for the evening, regaining, and over your journey, you are able to rest more than once, thus regaining all of your hit points and all of your hit dice, and all of your spells and abilities and other such things. Your wounds are tended. You share tales. You know, Don John wants to hear about your battle, and you and Bing talk about your experience, both fueled by the energy of Talos. And he says, like, that symbol, now I recognize it. That's a symbol of Talos. Are you aware of Talos? Do you know Talos?
Wait, Don John says that?
No, Bing says this.
Oh. Am I aware of Talos? No. I'm aware he's into lightning.
Yes, sir. It says Talos is known as the Destroyer and the Storm Lord. It is an evil, a chaotic evil deity. And though I have not normally heard, I've not normally heard of orcs worshiping Talos before, as was in your vision of those orcs with their arms outstretched in the storm and whatnot. That is quite extraordinary. But normally they worship Grumsh. Of course, you know who Grumsh is. I don't need to.
Bing?
Yes, sir.
Why are you giving me a lesson on religion?
I'm sorry. I have a tendency of letting I get excited by such things, and
your mind wanders off sometimes.
Yes.
Bing. Stick to the task at hand.
Yes, sorry, sir. You make your way back to the Mountain's Toe gold mine, and true to their word, the were-rats are happy to vacate the smelly, stinky tunnels, and they pack up what provisions they have and make their way to the Shrine of Savras. Don John says that he is going to stay at the mines themselves and take inventory of what's going on before returning to Phandalin and hiring a new mining crew in order to reestablish the mine. And you make your way back to Phandalin, a new victory under your belt. And it is there we'll end today's adventure.
Along the way, I shall tell Bing, I want to highlight to Bing how odd it is that there's orcs worshiping Talos when they normally worship Grumsh.
Yeah, he says, yes, that is, now that you mention it, that is quite extraordinary. Yes, and he writes something in his notebook.
And we'll call it a day.
And we will call it a day. There we have it. Thank you, my friend.
The Adventures of Bing and Barundar.
I tell you, man, I love me some Bing and Barundar.
I love Bing and Barundar.
I want to thank everybody who had a chance to watch on Twitch today.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep, always fun. Hopefully we'll get to do this. Again shortly. Enrique, my friend, thank you for a fine adventure.